Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fortress Comic News, episode 265. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside my depressed and exhausted co-host, Mike.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a week, boys and girls, and whatever the hell it doesn't matter to me. Funny story about this, folks. I was down at a customer at Burlington, and Burlington, Vermont is a very liberal town, and the bathrooms there, it says it's like one of those up and coming engineering companies. They're actually building like electric planes. It's pretty badass for like delivery cargo and stuff. But on the bathrooms, it says it has like the girl and the boy, like typical bathroom sign cut out, and then it has like a unicorn, and it says like and then it says like whatever, just wash your hands or something like that. It's like a funny way of saying, gender neutral or whatever bathrooms, but like the picture of the unicorn is pretty funny. And then there was, as you walk in above the sink, it shows like two characters and it says, wash your hands. So this, and it shows like two people shaking hands, doesn't turn into this. And the next picture is like the two people with their hands in each other's pants. I was like,
oh, Jesus.
I was like, man, they really pulled out all the stops here. But typical Vermont shit.
I always thought the funniest bathroom one was, instead of like men's and women's, it was innies and outies.
Now I'm even more confused.
That's the type of shit I would do if I owned the place.
Yeah. Yeah, it's whatever. But I thought it was just funny. Everybody, we do have a special guest on the show today. Curtis Clow. We'll figure that out. And he's going to talk about a bunch of his stuff. He's got a website, a lot of creator-owned comics. They all look fantastic. So we'll be chatting with him in a little bit.
But coming from a Dark Horse.
Yeah. So pretty cool. And yeah, I think nothing else really going on. I got a bunch of Kickstarters this week that I haven't read yet. They all seem to come in like the last few days, digitally at least. So I had like a bunch of stuff to catch up on and read. You read the 47 Furious Tales, right? Yeah, is that what it is? 47.
Yes.
It's like the Squirrel Samurai book. We talked about Weapon Brown is back after Chris had texted me. If people don't know what Weapon Brown is, you need to go look it up. It's Jason Youngbluth. Oh, there's a cat, everyone.
Cat's going nuts, everybody.
He wrote this comic about a post-apocalyptic Charlie Brown back in 2009, 12, somewhere in that range, 13. It has to be almost 10 years ago now.
You told me about him.
Craig had it. So the comic shop we used to hang out in Rochester had this book, and the guy was from Buffalo. And it was amazing. It was like Charlie Brown, but like the Terminator Charlie Brown, and everything was related to Charlie Brown within the book, but it was all post-apocalyptic.
It might have been more than 10 years ago. I remember you told me about him. Then I met him at Buffalo Comic-Con in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I got the book.
Well, now it's coming back.
One of my favorite comics ever.
Oh my God, it's so good. I sat down, and the thing was thick too. It was a thick book. And I sat down, I read the whole thing. I remember I was in college when I did it. It like blew my mind. And I wasn't even a huge Charlie Brown fan, so like I just thought it was absolutely insane. And it's back on Kickstarter, another installment, like 10 years later. So that's pretty wild to see.
Yeah. I had some cool things come in the mail this week.
Yeah.
Like you said, everything at once.
Yep.
I finally, my World's Finest #1 came in.
Ooh, yeah, there you go.
Jerry Seinfeld.
I got that one. Yep, looks awesome.
Special edition Batman Beyond figure. Glows in the dark, everybody.
What?
See, look at him glow in the dark.
Oh man. Which Batman Beyond is that? Is that a comic or animated series one? Or
It's from the McFarlane ones are based on the Rebirth comic.
Okay.
Because they did Batwoman and everything as well.
Yep. Okay, cool.
And then I sent this to you, but just imagine Stanley created the DC Universe Omnibus.
Yep.
$35.
Wow. Where did you get that for? Was that the typical price or was that on sale?
Nope. Got it through Macari. It's in pretty decent shape. I mean, you can tell someone owned it and someone read it. But
that's a nice bookshelf book.
Yeah, I'm really excited, and I've never actually read this, so
I haven't either.
Sit there and read all this.
So, what is it? Dude, Stanley's take on the DC universe.
So it's Stanley going and recreating all the DC characters through Stanley's lens. So, like, basically, what if Marvel had created these characters? So these are all the artists that go with it. Batman with Joe Kubert, Wonder Woman with Jim Lee, Superman with John Buscema, Green Lantern with Dave Gibbons.
Oh yeah.
The Flash with Kevin McGuire, JLA with Jerry Orway, Robin with John Byrne, Shazam with Gary Frank, Aquaman with Scott McDaniel, Catwoman with Chris Buscello, Sandman with Walter Simonson, and then he does Crisis with John Cassaday.
Damn, that's a killer lineup.
Yeah.
When was Gary Frank drawn that? Is that from the 80s or something?
I think this is a 90s book.
Damn.
This might be an early 2000s book.
I'm going to have to go back and look at old Gary Frank stuff because the dude is just so good now. It's just a shame he gets wrapped up with like weird. Well, his Batman Earth 1 run is so good. Oh man, he draws the best Batman, hands down.
So this was printed in 1992.
Okay. Wow.
Well, I guess it was originally printed in 1992 because this is the new 52 reprinting.
Yeah, that's the reprinting.
You can tell by the DC logo.
That's pretty cool. I'll have to check it out too. That's awesome. Yeah, the two I have two DC Absolute editions, and I have the Kingdom Come, and then I have the Absolute Identity Crisis.
I've been getting a hard on for on the buses recently.
Yeah,
I haven't bought a whole bunch, but I love them.
The Grant Morrison Doom Patrol one I have, and it's so big that I don't understand how to like hold it and read it. The thing is, like, it has to be 6 inches thick. It's insane. And then I have the Grant Morrison Animal Man omnibus too. That's a fantastic run. Highly recommend those.
Yeah, I've been looking at a couple.
Yeah,
I'm actually pissed because I missed out on one that was going. It was the original Captain America run, so it was starting from Captain America #1.
Ooh.
On the bus, and the guy wanted $40 for it, and I was at work, so I like saved it, and I was like, "Oh, I'll check it out in a minute, see how good it is." Before I got home, he sold it for $25. I was like, "I'm gonna fucking give you $25 easy."
Oh my god, that sucks. There's one I want. One more. I think like one more omnibus before I can like say that I don't have room for stuff. I definitely don't have enough. I mean, my one bookshelf is completely filled with trades, and it looks awesome. I'm very proud of it. But I only keep the omnibuses on the bottom shelf because those things are too heavy to put any higher than that. I want they created a 60s Batman 66 omnibus from all the comics they collected that they had done with the Alex Ross covers. Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think it's an omnibus or an absolute edition. Either way, I want it because it's all of them in one spot, and it's just a fantastic collector's item if you're a 60s Batman fan. Yeah. Yeah, but I just don't want to spend the money for myself, so maybe one day someone will surprise me.
Brand new, they're like $100. Yeah, where's the missus?
Yeah.
Did she hear you?
Yeah, right, yeah. Somebody, anybody? No, but yeah, it's dangerous, dude. I mean, I walk into a comic shop, I'll buy trades, but now I'm slowly running out of shelf space. I want to like one day have a giant library of trades. But I find myself like looking at trades that I bought in like bargain bins, and I'm like, I really don't need this in my collection. And I've started about like thinning the herd and like donating to the local library if they'll even take them. So I'm gonna like look into that, see how that goes.
Yeah, I want to do a cleansing of my collection because there's definitely stuff that like I don't want.
Yeah,
whether it be trades or single issues or whatever.
There's like a Grant Morrison Marvel Boy trade in there somewhere that I'm just like, why did I buy this book? Like stuff I don't need to read.
Yeah. Dude, I got 90s Gambit single issues. So I'm like, why did I buy this?
Hey, Gambit was, when I was a kid, Gambit was the coolest, but he had the worst comics.
Yeah. That was my favorite on the cartoon.
Oh yeah, for sure. He was everyone's favorite, dude. He was so badass, but
yeah,
comics didn't really hold up. You're talking about the Gambit one where he, oh man, was that like 2012 or 13 where they did like the Dick Grayson thing where he was like an agent?
No, this is the 90s. I have the 90s run where it's like the brown cover. Yes, I remember
Gambit,
that.
They did Gambit like secret agent.
Because he went down to Louisiana to be in the bayou.
Oh my god!
You got Gambit, you gotta send him down to Louisiana. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh my god! It was like the coolest thing about Gambit was his outfit. His outfit and his like bow staff and cards, and you took that all shit away from him. You gave him like you dressed him up like I don't know, the Archer, like the black turtleneck and shit. Like he's going undercover. It's like this is not what I want to read. I did buy the first issue though. They got me for that.
I probably have. I think it was a 6-issue run. I probably got the whole thing. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
There was a time when I would literally buy anything.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I have a lot of weird stuff. Okay, we're gonna get into a little bit of the news there is, and then obviously we have an interview shortly after. But as you're listening to this episode, which would be Wednesday the 17th, 18th, sorry. The Boys season 3 official trailer will have dropped, which I think we definitely got some footage already before this, but we got news ahead of teasers, which honestly I'm pretty much like I'm gonna watch it either way, you know. We did get news ahead of it. The new season will hit Amazon Prime June 3rd, so like 2 weeks, pretty much.
So literally we're gonna get Obi-Wan in basically 2 weeks, a little bit under 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And then the following week is going to be The Boys.
Yeah.
So right now we have nothing to watch. Soon we're going to have 2 shows to watch.
Yeah. Which is, I'm okay with that. So.
Yeah, as long as they're good.
You cannot mess up Obi-Wan. I want to feel like I cursed us saying that. But please don't mess this show up. I mean, they've done such a great job with all the Star Wars properties so far. So
this will be the first non-Favreau Star Wars show, I believe. So it'll be interesting to see if Favreau has the magic or if it's just this is something better left off for show format. Yeah, I guess we will find out. Okay, well, this is sad news. After one season, Hulu has canceled Modok. Sorry, Chris. Sorry. I actually never finished the show. That was just one that I kind of drifted off of, but I did think it was funny when I watched it. I got like halfway. It's so good. I'm so glad that it exists. I'm glad we got it. I'm shocked we got one season. Yeah. I kind of feel the same way about that I do about Moon Knight, where it's like if I only get one season, I'm happy. Mm-hmm. Because those were literally properties where I'm like, even in a world where they do everything comic books, like they'll never do Modok or Moon Knight. Yeah. And I got them. So there you go. But Modok was genuinely really good, especially if you're a fan of like Robot Chicken and or Patton Oswalt. Which is funny because it was almost the same humor style as, I want to say, like same humor as Harley Quinn. But obviously Harley Quinn probably has more fans behind the name. So yeah. But and like see it go. stop motion isn't everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah,
I love it
true.
personally, but
yeah, it does make some people uncomfortable. I thought it was like perfect for Modok. I mean, it was a little uncomfortable looking at a 3D anime or not a claymation Modok, but I thought it was pretty good. And I really liked Patton Oswalt for the role. So
yeah, and there was things. So Jordan Bloom, the showrunner, and Patton wrote a Modok comic that basically made the show canon to the comic universe.
Oh,
it's really good. Anybody wants to check it out.
okay.
But there was talks that maybe they would do like they have the second season plotted out and everything. Like maybe they do a 12 issue or 6 issue arc. I'd be shocked if they get 6 out. But maybe do something to kind of tell the story of what they were thinking.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, they could Kickstarter it. Well, it's through Marvel, but
it's Marvel. If it's Kickstarter, I won't even pay for it.
Yeah. If Marvel won't pay for it, it's like, come on, guys. I've seen them put out worse stuff, honestly. Like that Gambit book. And I think that's it for shows and movies. So let's hop to this interview with Curtis, and we'll see all of you on the other side.
We're back on the other side.
This is the other side. That was a nice little jingle we just had. So, comic news. Marvel is full of anniversaries this year. Plus, they just kind of make up their own anniversaries. They just pick out numbers. They're like 62 anniversary. Okay, sure. 75. That works. We get another set of announcements around 1. This time, it's Spider-Man celebrating his 60th. First up, Dan Slott is returning to the Spider-Verse with the final chapter of his saga titled The End of the Spider-Verse. Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. Okay. You have my attention.
I'll bet you anything, though, they're pissed that whatever that new Spider-Verse movie's called. Is it Beyond the Spider-Verse? Or
oh, yeah.
Whatever the fuck they're calling it. But I bet they're pissed that got pushed.
Oh, yeah, because this doesn't really add up.
Well, I'll bet anything this was supposed to come out around the same time, if not like end around the time the movie came out, and now that doesn't line up, but they still have to hit that 60th anniversary because that's all that matters, everybody.
That's all that matters. After that, Marvel's fudging the numbers once again, everyone, to publish Amazing Fantasy 1000. Oh, God. I remember when they got to Spider-Man 1000, but they actually did have 1,000 issues of Spider-Man. There's no way in hell we have 1,000 issues of Amazing Fantasy out there.
They didn't get to Spider-Man 1000.
Oh, what was Spider-Man 1, Amazing Spider-Man 100, right? What was the big...
No, I was going to make a joke about it. So they did Marvel Comics 1000.
Oh, that's right.
And then Marvel Comics 1001 because reasons.
Yeah.
But what makes me laugh about that is what they did was claimed that if they kept publishing Marvel Comics, they would have hit 1,000 when they published it.
What the hell?
Now,
that's not how that works.
They can't even claim that with this because Amazing Fantasy has had like 30 issues and it started 61 years ago.
Okay.
Now, I'm not the greatest with math, but 52 times 61, you're not going to hit 1,000.
Yeah, I'm crunching the numbers, but it's 52 times 61. Let's see. What are we at?
Well, actually, it would be 12 times 61, but let's do 52 times 61. What do you get?
3,000. 3,200.
Oh, okay. So do 12 times 61. Yeah, that's what
732. Yeah, you were right.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you don't hit. You're not even close. So, something's going on. They're changing the math and the way we count at Marvel. They're like, whatever.
So a few years back, CB, the editor-in-chief, said that he had an idea for the next comic that was going to sell 1 million copies.
Uh-huh.
I think this is it.
Wow.
And I think he's wrong.
Yeah. Okay, so all terrible math aside, terrible premise aside, there is some good talent on this book that I'm honestly interested in. Like Neil Gaiman is on there, Jonathan Hickman, Kurt Busiek, Michael Cho, yeah, a lot of different Dan Slott. Yeah, so like I think there is some premise. I mean, to get Neil Gaiman to come in and write a Spider-Man story, pretty interesting.
Yeah. All joking aside, I'll probably buy it.
Oh, you're gonna read the shit out of this. What do you mean?
I mean, Hickman's on it, like you said, Gaiman's on it. Even though I'm not a huge Spider-Man fan, I'm like, oh well, it's kind of a big deal, even if it is fake.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're like, they made it a big deal, so it is a big deal.
It's like, Marvel, I'm one of your biggest fans, and I can't defend this to save my life.
Yeah,
There's no way I can defend
it's
this.
the meme of the lady calculating like the math. It's like something's not adding up here. Oh,
like, listen, they've fudged the numbers to like add a couple so that they can line a story up to be like it's actually issue 750, so we can oversize it and charge a bunch of money.
Right.
This is somebody's just like, what if we published Amazing Fantasy 1000? And everybody there's like, what's stopping us?
We're gonna get Tom Brevoort on the show and chat with him, see what the hell's going on there.
Yeah, somebody's got to answer for these crimes.
Yeah, these crimes to math. Well, Dan Slott's busy with Spider-Man projects. A new creative team is taking over Fantastic Four for a 2-issue arc because apparently Fantastic Four gets sidelined for this Amazing Fantasy 1000 event. It's a 2-issue arc tying into the upcoming AXE Judgment Day event. I don't know, what does X stand for? Avengers, X-Men, something?
Avengers, X-Men, Eternals.
Okay, interesting. The team is none other than David Pepose with artist Juan Cabal. Okay. According to Pepose, the 2-issue story is Die Hard in the Baxter Building with the Invisible Woman. Yo, come on. This sounds awesome. All right, so hold on. Okay, so the 2-issue arc is like something that usually, isn't going to be the craziest story, but then you have David Pepose, who's like, this is an intro into Marvel, right? Or no, he was writing
next week. Well, okay. Last month was his first official publishing in Marvel. Next week is his first official ongoing published at Marvel.
Okay. This sounds awesome. I might just read it just because I like the Fantastic Four and I love Die Hard. So
I'll pick it up just for David. Like, I love David. Yeah. I'm not a big Fantastic Four fan, but also when you tell me that you're doing a story arc that's like Die Hard, and then you add in like other things I like anything Marvel.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Like in the Baxter Building. Come on, Die Hard in the back. Like, yeah, you change Nakatomi Plaza to the Baxter Building, immediately get all my support. Okay.
If he doesn't have an overweight black cop outside screaming at the Invisible Woman the entire time, I mean, I don't know what you're doing.
You mean Carl from Family Matters?
From Family Matters.
Carl Winslow? Yes. DC has also announced a bunch of tie-in comics to come out alongside Dark Crisis this summer. The projects are as follows. Dark Crisis, Worlds Without a Justice League, Green Lantern, by writer Philip Kennedy Johnson, artist Fernando Blanco. Okay. Awesome team up. I'm going to read this, but what the hell is this title?
So I'm going to read all of these because I'm a sucker for event books.
I'm excited for these, but this title is way too long.
Oh yeah, it's the typical. It's remember during Dark Knight's Death Metal, it's like Dark Knight's Death Metal : blah 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 :
Worlds
Batman,
with alternate dark universe. Okay, so the first one off the bat, PKJ Fernando Blanco. So, and for that, Dark Crisis, Worlds Without Justice League, Wonder Woman by Tini Howard, Layla Del Duca. Okay, all right, I'm interested. Dark Crisis, Worlds Without Justice League, Green Arrow. Interesting, Green Arrow. By Stephanie Phillips, represent. And artist Clayton Henry. Okay, very cool. Dark Crisis, Worlds Without Justice League, Batman by writer Cy Spurrier and Ryan Sook on the art. Damn, all these I think are great. I think these are names that people recognize and love these stories from these people. So yeah, this is good on DC for putting these together.
Yeah, and so Green Lantern, the only one that didn't die in Justice League was Green Arrow, right? Like Green Arrow survived that, didn't he?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe Green Arrow, like the only one that came back was Black Adam.
So maybe he did die then.
I think they've all died, but I guess they haven't died if we're getting tie-in books.
Well, so it's going to be the 5G thing. So the Green Lantern is going to be whoever the next Green Lantern line is.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder Woman's going to be what's her name? That's in the side Wonder Woman book right now.
Right.
I don't know who the hell Green Arrow could be. Maybe Arsenal. I don't know who's around Green Arrow world ananymore.
Yeah, really.
And then Batman's going to be the I Am Batman. The
Luke Fox.
Luke Fox. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I would imagine that's who's going to be starring in all these books. So as much as I don't care about those characters, I just care about the event.
Yeah, I want to see how it ties
I got great creative teams here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very excited for that. Dark Horse Comics, this looks insane, has announced a new creator-owned title this summer called Survival Street. Survival Street is said to be Sesame Street, but a twisted action satire set for adults. The series will be written by James Asmus with art by Jim Festante. It's like half... This is like the coolest thing from Dark Horse I've seen in a while. It's like half Sesame Street, half post-apocalyptic shit with like the Cookie Monster holding a machine gun. It looks awesome.
And a nuke going on in the background. Yeah, I love that cover.
It's an amazing cover. This cover is like one of the coolest covers I've seen from Dark Horse. And like the left side is like all happy and nice. And the right side is everybody's blown up. Yeah.
The cover alone sold me on the
oh yeah.
If you just show me that cover, I would buy it just because I'm like, yeah, that I know exactly what that book's going to be about, and I love the idea.
Yep,
it's so good.
That's all I needed to see. Yeah, so I'll be checking that out. All right, I guess we'll talk about what we read this week. I had a few books. I didn't get to everything. Like I still got to read Guilt and stuff. I'll probably catch up on reading tonight. Actually, there was some books that I could not. So I caught up on Task Force Z. I know you read that last week. Like you said, it was good. They're going to go rob Batman of the stuff. I read Suicide Squad. This was issue 15. So basically they're trying to kidnap Lex Luthor the whole time. And then they actually they keep getting caught. And then getting caught was like the big plan to catch Lex Luthor. And they get funding from him. But this is like the end of the series, I think, for now. But he basically like gives them funding for the Suicide Squad, and he basically says like at the end he says Task Force Lex ? Instead of Task Force X, and then he goes, "We'll see," and then it says the end. So maybe we'll get a task force funded by not Amanda Waller, but we'll see. All in all, I think Suicide Squad was good. Okay, the most important book you'll read this year, Jurassic League. People, Jurassic League #1. This book is what if the Justice League were dinosaurs. That's it. That's all you need to know. There's also villains that are like of the rogues galleries of those characters. The art is amazing. The art is so good. The art by Juan Gedeon, amazing. Story by Daniel Warren Johnson, Juan Gedeon together. awesome. You have like a crocodile Batman character that's like Dark Knight Returns going around and like trying to save tribes people, fighting like a Joker dinosaur. We get to see the Black Mantasaurus because we get the Aquaman story, which was amazing. It's just like two kaijus fighting each other, and then like Wonder Woman is a Triceratops. Amazing.
That all the Amazons are Triceratops, which made me so happy.
Yeah, that was just so cool. And then the Super Soar, Superman was a dinosaur that landed among men and was raised. And then we get to see a couple like Superman villains show up. So we have Giganta and Brow Tazaro. So it's a Bizarro and a Giganta twist on the villains. The villains are just as much fun as the heroes. This book is so much fun. I love it. I love every minute of it.
It was great. It gave every hero their moment.
Mm-hmm.
We got to learn who they all are in this world. Not only that they're dinosaurs, but they live in a Jurassic era.
Yeah.
So it's not like dinosaurs, but they're here today. It's like, no, they live in like a Flintstones-esque Jurassic era.
Yeah, that was great too.
That book just put a giant smile on my face from page 1 to page whatever the last page was.
I could not wait to read that book. Like that, it takes like there hasn't been a book in a while where I was like, I need to read this immediately. So good on them. More of that, DC. That is some fun shit.
More fun. Let's
More
do it.
Fun in comics. Shang-Chi 12. So we were right, Chris. This resolves the whole Shang-Chi story. He ends up with the 10 rings somehow, magically. There's a lot of like hand-waving going on. And then bam, the Master of Kung Fu will return in Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings, number 1. So, and then it says on here, so at the bottom, I've never noticed this. Email us at mheroes@marvel.com and mark okay to print in quotes. Yeah. I never noticed that.
Yeah, because they still put what do you call it? Comments from the reader in the back or whatever, questions from the reader.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if that meant from like questions for the reader of like, oh, this is the amount of people that want to back this book or something.
No, letters column. That's what I'm looking for.
Oh, okay.
They still put letters. I don't know if they do it in the digital ones, but they still do it in the physical copies.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. So Shang-Chi is good. Did you read Justice League versus Legion of Superheroes?
I did.
Still don't know why Gold Lantern. So basically the darkness is there. Gold Lantern does something to like suck it all up into his ring, but then people like all the Legion heroes and Justice League get transported to different universes, I guess, or no, across the time stream, maybe.
Time stream, yeah.
Yeah, time stream. So fucking Commandy shows up, and I completely don't care about this book. He's like, "Oh, it's Commandy."
Quick,
yeah.
As I'm reading it, to anyone who's new, Mike hates Commandy. As I'm reading it, I was reading it digitally, but I turned the page and Commandy shows up, and I just started laughing hysterically by myself because I just knew across New York State you were sitting there at the exact moment, being like, "Fucking Commandy."
So I immediately was like, I can't believe I have to finish this book with a pop-up Commandy. They literally just like popped his little face in there. But we also get the Batman Beyond reveal. So some of the group gets sent to the Batman Beyond. That was pretty sick.
Which was awesome.
Yeah, so that kind of made up for it. And then we don't know where, like, it almost looks like Gold Lantern sucked the entire spectrum out of his timelines because it's like black and white. So
like it's also re-revealed because it happened in issue 1 that like there's something going on with Gold Lantern, and so Batman's like, we shouldn't trust the Gold Lantern because he finds out that he's a part of the Legion,
right?
And then of course fucking who was it, Aquaman and Ultra Boy get stuck in a random ass time frame
Yeah.
And what do they find? A Leviathan headquarters. Bendis, I love you, man. Nobody gives a shit about Leviathan.
Yeah,
just
that was
stop.
I forgot that even happened. I didn't even care, dude. I really didn't care.
I did because I read all that Leviathan stuff, and I don't care.
You just really keep shoving it down your throat. So yeah, I'm just gonna finish that out to finish it out for, complete story's sake.
I enjoyed it, to be honest. It's still, I understand why you don't. You've never been a huge Bendis mark like I have. But
some of the stuff's cool though. Like he got me in this issue with the Batman Beyond and stuff like that. But yeah, the Leviathan plus the Commandy was like, oof.
And I thought his best stuff at DC was when he was doing Legion. Now this doesn't match up to the Legion series he did.
Yeah.
But I'm still really enjoying it, and I want him to go back to just doing Legion.
Yeah, he really should. Okay, and the last thing I had was Hulk, Thor, Banner of War, Alpha. Fucking awesome. So all the things Chris explained to me about Mjolnir last episode of the podcast, they caught me up perfectly in this issue, and they also catch you up to where Hulk is. And then our heroes meet on this battlefield that they're transported to, and they start fighting because it still hasn't been revealed to us like why Hulk killed all these people on Earth, but now Thor is like, you need to pay for your sins. And there's just an epic clash between these two. I mean, like, the Hulk gets a hole punched through him from Mjolnir, and he's like talking to his inner head shit while Thor is talking to his father Odin in the hammer. And so like at the end of it, he throws the hammer at Hulk, it hits him, and then Odin is like in Banner's head and says like, I want to have a word with thee. This book was awesome.
If you haven't been reading Hulk or Thor, I thought this was a great issue to jump in on because he does an amazing job of like catching you up with everything that's going on.
Yeah, because then this
kind of where even the reader's at, even if you've been following, like when he mentions El Paso, he's like, we haven't really gotten to that yet, but we will, and moves on.
Yeah, and it continues in Hulk and Thor separately. So
yeah, so this week will be Thor, and then next week will be Hulk.
And he's writing Thor too, right?
Yeah, he writes both series. So
okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
So awesome. Donnie can just go straight through. It's really good. I really liked it too.
Awesome. And that's all I had this week.
Okay. I'll start with the old stuff I read. So I did read Justice League 75 because I finally found a copy.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Death of the Justice League. The Justice League dies, everybody. It's right there on the cover.
What? No way.
Yeah. That's basically all that happened. Like, quite literally, that's all that happened.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. There's nothing more to it.
I finally, even though I've been buying these as they came out, I finally picked up or read Volume 1 of Reckless by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips.
Nice.
If you're not a Brubaker and Phillips fan, this book isn't going to change your mind. It's set in the 70s. Private Eye who like goes to help a friend and gets involved in these entanglements, and the FBI gets involved, and so it's a bunch of crime noir set in the 70s.
Okay.
I really liked it. If you're a fan of those two, you'll probably like it too. King Conan #4. This issue we picked up where Conan was kind of kicking his son out of the kingdom because he thought that he needed to go live a life before he could become king, and his kid basically kicks his ass and tells him like, I've done more than you know, Dad, and nice. I don't need to do this. And then Conan himself actually gets exiled from the kingdom, we find out, and his son is now the king of whatever land they have. Mm-hmm. I don't care enough to memorize the name of it.
That's awesome.
But it was a good issue. It was a good back and forth between Conan and his son. And then we got like 2 seconds of the island that they're on, just to be like, hey, just so you know, they're still on this island too, and they got to escape. I don't know if you saw the whole controversy, but the princess in this issue is much different than the last issue.
Oh. No,
Did you hear about that one?
No, I did not.
So, I don't know. I always thought Jason Aaron had Native American blood in him. I could be wrong about that, but he named the princess in this story after Pocahontas, but after her like actual name, and then put her in typical comic book like wearing nothing.
Oh, okay.
And people freaked out. So he changed it, and now she's wearing like this whole suit of armor, and they changed her name and everything. It didn't take away anything for me personally.
Yeah.
But it was just funny going from issue to issue. 8 Billion Genies, #1. This is the creative team that did Curse Words.
Okay.
And the whole premise is everybody on Earth at the same time gets a genie, and they get one wish. And the way the story takes place, we're in a bar, and when the genie pops, the guy that owns the bar just immediately goes, I don't want anyone else's wish to affect my bar or anyone inside of it.
Mm.
And the genie goes away. And then everybody else is having their wishes. And when you go outside of the bar, you see the chaos that erupts.
Yeah.
People turn to kaijus, like
holy shit,
bombs going off, just catastrophe. But the bar stays intact. And that's kind of the setup for the story, is that
that's awesome.
We're going to be set in this bar with these characters as they kind of see the world just go nuts around them.
I forgot that came out. I do love Curse Words. I'm reading it right now, so I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, I really liked it. And of course, same artist. So if you like the art from Curse Words, you'll like this. We talked about all those. Moon Knight Black, White, and Blood #1. It's anthology Moon Knight's book. There was like 2 good stories in here. Honestly, my least favorite story was the Jonathan Hickman one.
Oh.
Because he tried to get too cute with it and like set it in space. It felt like an East of West story. And it just doesn't work with Moon Knight.
No.
And then there's one with him and Spider-Man, where Spider-Man's going to the Hellfire Gala, and he wants to borrow the Mr. Knight suit as his like outfit for the gala.
Wow.
And they have to go fight somebody, and then he ends up giving it to him.
That's funny.
And then there's another one that's just Moon Knight fighting a bunch of people. Good stuff. If you like Moon Knight, you'll enjoy this issue.
Cool.
Crossover number 13? Yes, 13. Are you still reading this, or did you just not get to it?
Yeah, I just haven't read. I haven't read it this week.
Okay. This wraps up this story arc. Definitely sets up a new story arc. I like what he did. It's right in the first page. It's all about the death of Donnie, and then kind of the final battle between everybody. And we get the issue is really Donnie talking about who. It's his love letter to artists, is what I got from it, because it's him talking about like it's not really writers that create comics; it's the artist that brings it to life, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But it was a good issue, and I like where they're going with the next story arc. I'll be interested to see what you think of that one.
Cool.
And then Captain America: Symbol of Truth #1. This is the Sam Wilson Cap book. It was okay. It was very bare bones. Sam fights some bad people. Like that's really it. Like they do a whole thing in here about BLM, and then they quickly get away from it, and they go and he just fights somebody, and then it ends with somebody coming to get Crossbones out of jail, and them having a whole like back and forth about what their plan is and why they need Crossbones to help them out.
Okay.
So, didn't live up to issue 0 for me, but I'll give it a couple issues before I decide what I really think of it.
Yeah, pretty generic.
Yeah. So that was everything. Mike, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Fortress Ricker on Twitter. Where can they find you and/or the show?
You can find me at Fortress Chris on Twitter. You can find the show at Fortress Comics _ on Twitter. Also at fortresscomicnews.com. Remember, everybody, give us a 5-star review and podcatcher of your choice. To like, subscribe, share, comment down below on the YouTube. And if you want to go the extra mile, Patreon at patreon.com/fortresscomics. Thank you all so much for listening this week. We'll see you all here next week.